HawkTalk rolls along tonight from Catahoula's. Mike Hammett with you. HawkTalk brought to you by Guerrero and Guerrero, the official attorneys of the ULM Warhawks. And talking now with Dalton Burrell. We'll have more with Coach Mike Federico here in just a little bit as we roll along. Warhawks back at home this week, Northwestern State tomorrow. If you're planning to go out, well, you may have to get off work early or take a late lunch or something. It's 2 o'clock first pitch now with hoping that there is a break in the weather tomorrow to get that game in before storms roll back in tomorrow night, and then Texas State in for 3 this weekend, coming up at 6 o'clock Friday, 2 o'clock Saturday, and noon on Sunday. Everything out at the Lou this week. Dalton Burrell, though, the 6'5 senior out of Bossier City, airline high product, 3 years at LSU Eunice, year number 2 with the Warhawks. Dalton, welcome. Glad to have you here. And I joked with you when you got here. I said it's good to have another member of the retirement home on here following Cam Barlow. So I guess start with that. I mean, to have all these veteran guys, you're all pitchers, you're all living together. You know, it's 4 60-year guys, and you get to be the 5th-year guy that gets to stay with them as well. How is that, you know, with this group? I mean, Cam kind of told the story that you guys are pretty early to bed. You're all up early in the morning. I mean, the retirement home nickname kind of feeds into how you guys live, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's awesome. I get to live with my best friends, and yeah, like Cam was saying, we're up early drinking coffee in the mornings together, hanging out in the living room. We go to bed early. It's pretty crazy that I am the youngest guy in the house as a 5th year. So
so you get in here. I mean, there's all these veteran arms, but I mean, you come in because of COVID. You're able to pitch 3 years at the JUCO level, and for a great program too at LSU Eunice, and come up here. You know, you've been around the game for a while. Just how much of that time at LSU Eunice and the level that they play at and compete for national championships and do all that, how'd that help you translate to Division I and kind of fit in with those guys that have been around the Division I level for a while quickly?
Yeah, well, to start at Eunice, I believe it's one of the best junior college programs in the country, and you just play at a very high level there, and a lot is expected of you there. And for me personally, I don't feel like there's any better place to go if you're not ready for the Division I level yet. And then coming here, it's, you know, you meet these older guys like Cam and Trey and Steve, and these older guys that have been here for a while that, you know, welcome you in with open arms. So it's pretty easy to make that adjustment.
You live with these guys, and now we see Cam and Giggles are climbing a lot of these career charts because, you know, even Giggles went to JUCO, but he's been here for 4 years now.
Yeah.
And, you know, Cam, I call him Dr. Cam Barlow sometimes because he's been here since 2019. But, you know, they're climbing these career lists and whatnot. Just how neat is it to see that? And do you guys kind of give them a little, you know, heck for being around so long that they're finding their ways to the top of these lists?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's an awesome achievement.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, as best friends and stuff, we also heckle them a little bit. And,
yeah.
Well, yeah, good job. It took you long enough.
Get it done. I mean, you guys as pitchers too. How much do you talk about ball at the house, and even about you know, maybe different ways of doing things and bouncing ideas off of each other and whatnot?
Well, honestly, we're at the house. It's not really. I mean, that we don't really talk about it all that much. I mean,
Yeah.
Obviously, whenever we get back from practice or a game, we'll talk about that.
Sure.
But when we're at home, it's kind of just soaking in these last moments and just hanging out and enjoying each other.
I know when Cam came here a couple weeks ago when he was on, he left golf early. He said, yeah, well, you're all out golfing. And he said, I skipped the 18th hole. Well, he shows up at 5:45. I'm like, Cam, you could have played the 18th. You had plenty of time. It's okay. But, you know, and I know you guys like to go out and do that together. Who's the best golfer out of that bunch?
Oh, it's me, hands down.
Okay.
He was able to leave so early because I was just beating him so bad.
How good of a golfer are you? Do you know handicaps or anything like that, or do you just you guys just go out and have fun with it?
We just have fun.
Yeah. So behind you then, who's the best out of those other 4? I mean, you are the young guy. You should be the best. So
it's a toss-up between Trey and Steve, depending on the day. The teams, when we go, it's normally me and Trey versus Cam, Giggles, and Steve.
So do you guys leave like the highest score off of theirs or something, or how does that work?
We just play a scramble, and normally that's pretty fair.
Okay, so, but you guys, I mean, it's such an interesting group to have you guys, but you know, to be the veteran guys on the staff. Just how much do you guys take that upon yourselves when you're at the field, at practice, and around the guys, lifting, whatever, to be the leaders and kind of show the young guys the way and get how they should do things?
Yeah, it's just like we show up, and like the younger guys, especially when we first get here in the fall, they're looking to the older guys, so you kind of see how things go. And I think it's important for the older guys to show up and be the same person each and every day, because we want to leave a culture, build a culture here, and it starts with us showing up each and every day and being the same person and able to show these younger guys that this is how it's done.
Well, looking at this year's team and how things have gone, I know it's been a bit of a struggle as of late. Your last couple outings have been pretty good for you. Start with you personally. Just how do you feel like you've handled this season and your approach now that it's your second year in Division I, going through this, seeing similar types of opponents? How do you feel like you've handled it this year?
Well, yeah, this year started off, it's not how I wanted it at all, but it's just staying consistent, and like we get to show up every day, and I feel like we have some of the best coaches in the country. They're going to go above and beyond to give us and deliver whatever we need, and it's just showing up each and every day and continue to put the work in, and good things are going to happen if you deserve it to.
Coach Mack is the pitching coach, and I know you don't know a time at ULM when it was Coach Fed as the pitching coach, though he's still involved, I know, but to have him and Colton Childress, who pitched here years ago, and it makes me feel old because Colton was still pitching when I started doing this. But how much have you learned from those guys, and what does Coach Mack and Colton Childress bring to the table for this team?
Yeah, they're guys that are going to show up each and every day, like I said, and be the same person. And it's easy to look to those guys and see like a leader, and they're gonna show you the right thing to do.
We've talked with Dalton Burrell here as Dalton in his second year with the Warhawks, Bossier native, went to Airline High. When you went through the process of first to go to Eunice, coming out of high school, how did things work recruiting-wise for you? What led you down to Eunice?
Well, that is I had other offers to go other places, but that's just I went on my visit there, and it just felt like home. And it's kind of the same thing that happened when I came to my visit here to ULM. I came, and obviously, I had other offers, but I just went, and it felt right.
Come back to North Louisiana, too. Just how good did it feel to come back to this part of the state? I know it's east-west, yeah, but a little bit shorter drive down I-20 than going south to Eunice, too.
Yeah, it was nice to be back home, and that's kind of cutting the drive in half. It's about an hour and a half from home. Compared to Eunice, it was 3 hours. And also, it's just coming back to, like, this part of the state, it's easy for me because there's a lot that I like to do here is hunting and everything like that, and it's closer to home.
I've had a lot of guys on here doing these interviews before where we get into hunting and fishing and all that, and you're one of those guys too. How much do you guys use hunting and fishing to kind of bring the team together? Because it's not just pitchers that, there's hitters that enjoy that too, and just how can you guys use that to maybe get everybody and build that camaraderie and chemistry some?
Yeah, and like we go during hunting season, every break or opportunity we get, we're gonna go, and we're always sending like a text in the group message, hey, you're going hunting in the morning, going here, going there, if anybody like to come, because we want to build that chemistry and kind of show everybody, and it's cool, like the guys from like far off that maybe have never done that, maybe never even shot a gun, like it's cool to like give those guys their first opportunity to do something.
Talking with Dalton Burrell, Warhawk pitcher, the big right-hander. Also, we had Matt Abshire on last week too, and I asked him a lot about the pitchers, and he's the guy, and Marcus Aranda and Barham White are the guys that they work with all the pitchers, but then they're also part of the position player and hitter group and all that too. With Matt Abshire and the way he takes charge of things, the vocal leader he is, you can't be at practice more than 2 minutes without hearing him hollering about something. What does Matt Abshire bring to this team, and how has he commanded the leadership and to be the guy that handles the pitching staff the way he does.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he's always gonna be that vocal leader. Like he's not afraid to say something when it needs to be said, and for a catcher especially, that's very important to be able to. I know, like for me especially, like me and him are pretty close friends, and he knows whenever he needs to come and talk to me and kind of get me back on track, and I think that's important for a catcher and a leader to know and be able to say the hard things when it needs to be said.
When he comes to the mound, and we saw it this weekend, Chipper, for example, after he gave up the 2 homers, he's out there, Coach Mack's out there, but Abshire in particular, when he comes to talk to you, what is it that he's telling you? Is he giving you a joke, trying to get you to relax? Is he just trying to get you locked back in? What's he trying to do?
It really just depends on kind of, I guess, how he's feeling at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a joke, or it could be to get you back in line, but that's just another good thing where he's kind of understanding. He knows like each and every guy and what is going to get them going in the right track.
With this team right now, I know it's been tough to get swept and all that, but you get to pitch in that environment down at the Teague. And I mean, you didn't get to pitch Friday when it was the biggest crowd, but every game down there, it was a good crowd. They're loud, they're into it, clapping along to center field, all that sort of stuff. What was that like to pitch in that environment this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to go and get some adrenaline going and want to throw in front of a crowd like that. It's really awesome, and like that's what you dream of is growing up, is to play in front of a bunch of fans like that. So I thought it was really cool.
And of course, you're hearing it from their fans the entire game all weekend long. And just how do you guys kind of put that aside, or do you guys kind of like laugh along with it, the stuff that they're saying to the guys out on the field?
At some point, you just gotta ignore it because there's some crazy stuff that they say, but it's kind of fun to mess around with them a little bit and laugh with them.
As we come down the stretch of this season, the last few weeks, 6 weeks left in Sun Belt Conference play, how does this team sit as far as the chemistry and all that? Now that there's been some struggles, some tough times, what's the feeling around this team at the moment?
Well, I mean, this team is, like, obviously lately we've put ourselves in a tough spot, but everything that we want to achieve is still in front of us, and there's no group of guys I would rather go and do this with. I truly believe that this team is still capable of everything we wanted to do.
Coming down to the end of the year, and I mean, have you thought about life after baseball, what you want to do beyond that, or have you just kind of wanted to stay focused in the moment here?
Well, yeah, I've got like a job lined up back home in Bossier, so I've kind of been thinking about that, just kind of on the back of my mind. But
so what do you have lined up?
I'm going to be a commercial insurance broker.
Okay, very good.
Yes,
and so, to have that too, does that help your mindset to know that you got the job lined up? I can just focus on playing baseball. I know Coach Fed was talking about class registration and all that, and you said you don't have to worry about
Yes,
that.
sir.
You're glad about that. But how much does that help too, that, hey, you're not worried about that job. You know that's there. Just focus and play baseball as long as you can this spring.
Yeah, it's awesome to better have that kind of locked down at such an early point when, most people are still going to search for that after graduation day. But, it's cool for me to better get that out of the way and just kind of focus and have fun in these last, however many weeks, 5, 6, 7 weeks I have left to play baseball.
Let's make it as many as we can.
That's right.
Dalton, good to have you on. Best of luck the rest of the way, and hoping we can keep you playing baseball as long as possible, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Dalton Burrell with us here on Hawk Talk.